Are any of these artworks familiar to you? What about these ones? What about these? Over time, Black art history has been an untold aspect lacking multiple areas to study. Today, we're going to explore the presence of Black identity in classical artworks by analyzing two works of art, Edward Manet's Olympia and David Martin's portrait of Dido Elizabeth Lindsay Bell. And let's first break down Manet's Olympia. The restricted and morally gray color palette intensifies the visual drama that Manet offers. You can tell the loose brushstrokes, especially in Olympia's face, challenge the conventions during this time, provoking us to question the established norms that were popular in the classical movement. If you observe the dark figure to the right, she's imposing on half of the artwork. She stands in the middle ground, kind of near the foreground, specifically right next to Manet's depiction of Venus. Manet's rebellious concept choices challenge traditional norms and styles, especially that direct and powerful gaze Olympia holds. Her eyes are impenetrable, and she holds the viewer in their place. This must have been extremely difficult for the male viewers, right? Now let's move on to the 18th century work, Portrait of Dido Elizabeth Bell, Lindsay, and Lady Elizabeth Murray. Martin's canvas is a glimpse of 18th century aristocracy. The formal composition with Dido and Elizabeth Bell, they're kind of placed symmetrically and near each other. It reflects traditional portraiture, but it paints Dido as a real lady. Symbolism is at a great play as well. Dido's slightly elevated position from Lady Elizabeth, it hints at the power dynamics and the way others saw her as an aristocratic biracial woman. Differing from Manet's Olympia, the color palette is warm, contrasting with the cooler background. It creates a sense of dignity, echoing the societal norms at this time. There are a lot of social cultural problems that went with these choices as well. Manet's Olympia faced a great heat during this time. The Paris Salon of the 19th century was challenged by the moral sensibilities during this time with all his formal choices. They were disgusted and bothered by not only the sex worker being depicted, but also the Black person. Meanwhile, in Martin's 18th century world, societal complexities and the colonial influences shaped the narrative of Dido Elizabeth Bell Lindsay. To sum it up, Manet's Olympia invites us to dismantle the layers of social expectations placed on women, emphasizing the intersectionality of gender and class. It becomes a platform for critiques against objectification, inviting us to question the social expectations. Meanwhile, Martin's portrait challenges racial stereotypes, recognizing the agency of a biracial woman within the aristocratic hierarchy. In Martin's portrait, Dido's representation challenges racial stereotypes, inviting us to consider the intersectionality of race and gender in the 18th century Britain. As we conclude this artistic journey through the time and canvas, remember that art is not just a visual feast, but a profound dialogue with the past. With each stroke on canvas, each choice of color, and every gaze captured, they all tell stories of time and human experience. We've dwelled into the rebellious strokes of Manet and the formal elegance of Martin in both the messages that they promote. These masterpieces are not just confined to the frames, they resonate with societal complexities, challenging norms, and sparking conversations across many generations. I encourage you to continue exploring the rich tapestry of art, visit museums, discover new artists, and engage in conversations about the stories embedded in every artwork. Art has the power to connect us across time and space, fostering understanding and empathy. And most importantly, art has the power to break barriers and unite the world.